Hi, I'm Nate Adams, sometimes known as Nate the House Whisperer, and if you're here, you just took the comfort quiz and you're trying to figure out what the difference is between Path A and Path B. Now, where you are right now, you're probably considering a new piece of heating or cooling equipment for your house. This is a critical decision to make because if you want to change the comfort of your home, this is your opportunity. And if you choose the wrong piece of equipment, usually the only way to truly fix that is to replace the equipment again. So if you have any comfort issues in your home, slow down, think this through. This is the time to spend a little extra time and money so that you don't have to worry about it again. Now, if you scored low on the quiz, go with Path A. That's a free quote that's going to quote replacing what you have with what you have. Very simple. Now, if you have any comfort issues in the house, so if any of your answers were high or if your total score was high, then you might want to consider a home comfort consultation, which helps figure out what the issues are with your house and what likely solutions might be. And most importantly, the comfort consult is going to help you find out what the most important number for your house is. And this is what's called the blower door number. Blower door is a tool that measures how much your house leaks, and this single number determines all kinds of things. It's really, really critical, and you aren't going to hear this very often, but I think in the future you're going to. So well done finding a contractor that is very forward-thinking. So the blower door measures how much a house leaks, and a great way to think of a leaky house is like a leaky boat. So if you have a leaky boat, there's always water coming in from the bottom, and you always have to run the bilge pump, and you're always worried about it sinking. And if you want to make that boat better, do you change the engine? No. Do you put a bigger bilge pump in? No, that's not dealing with the root cause. The root cause is fix the leaks. Houses work the same way. The problem is with a house, you don't know if it's leaky or not just from looking at it. So to do that, you really have to test, and that's where the blower door comes in. Now, what is leaky? That's a really important thing to understand too. So the blower door number, if you have a house where it's roughly 1-to-1 blower door to square footage. So say you have a 2,000 blower door on a 2,000 square foot house, that's a 1-to-1. That's decent. That's like a B minus, something like that. So it may be good enough. If you don't have any major issues in the house, you're fine, just replace the equipment, move on. That's the likely path. Now, if your house is leaky, say it's got a 4,000 blower door in that same 2,000 square foot house, that's a 2-to-1, that's a D grade house. There are likely all kinds of problems that the only way to solve them is if you tighten the house as well as change the HVAC. You probably can't just change the HVAC and get good results. So you want to know that. And again, you can't tell from looking at a house how leaky it is. We have been genuinely surprised in our practice how a house that we think is going to be leaky is not, and a house that we think will be tight is loose. So the only way to know is the test. Now, the other thing that blower door really affects is what size equipment you need. So smaller HVAC, and this is very counterintuitive, smaller HVAC leads to better comfort. So here's why. Imagine you want to take a shower and you're going to use 10 gallons of hot water. That's what you've got. Now, you have two options. You can either have the whole 10 gallons dumped over you in a big bucket all at one time, or you can go take a 5-minute shower and have that same 10 gallons in a nice, pleasant stream of water over you the whole time. Which one do you want? Well, the shower, of course, nobody likes to have a bucket of water dumped on them. The problem is if you have an oversized furnace, it's doing the same thing that this bucket is. It's dumping heat and then turning off, and then dumping heat and then turning off. And so the temperature of your house goes up and down quickly. The house is not comfortable. What you want is the smallest possible piece of equipment that will handle heating your house on the coldest day or cooling it on the hottest day. That's what you want. And you also preferably want it to be multiple stage so it can come down below full power. About 85% of HVAC sold in the United States is single stage, so you probably have that on-off issue. The good news is that can be solved with the right piece of HVAC. The bad news is figuring out what size that piece of HVAC needs to be requires a blower door. So using the industry standard load calculations, which tell you how much you need to heat your house on a very cold day or cool your house on a very hot day, they do not require entering a blower door number, the leakage number. But if you don't, basically with the industry standard calculations, anywhere between a small and an XL is the right size. So can you imagine going to the store and asking a clerk, what size do I wear? And they look you over and they tell you somewhere between a small and an extra large. That's not helpful. The problem is without having the blower door, you just don't know. So let's look at an actual example. So this is a 2,000 square foot house, and you can see that it tested in at a 2,100 blower door. So 2,100 to 2,000, it's a 1-to-1 house. This house didn't have any major issues, so it turned out that HVAC replacement was going to be more than adequate. Now, note the size of that. That is a 36,000 BTU heat load, and this is in a cold climate. This is Rochester, New York for this particular house. That 36,000 BTUs is a 3-ton heat pump, which you won't hear recommended very often, but the smallest normal furnace that you're going to see on the market is 40,000 BTUs, and usually the smallest you see is about 60,000. And in fact, what this house had was a 70,000 BTU furnace. By just changing the leakage of the house, so just the blower door, so we left the insulation the same and the windows the same and all of that other stuff the same, to make that 70,000 BTU furnace match the house, we had to triple the leakage of the house. So that furnace is way, way, way too big for that house, and sure enough, there were comfort issues from the temperature going up and down from that bucket of heat being dumped on it at any given time. So that gives you an idea where the house is and what it would take for it to actually have that furnace be the right piece of equipment, which by the way would require leaving a bunch of windows open a couple inches. But if we take that same house and we tighten it a little bit, 30%, it's a very reasonable number. If we can tighten that house by 30%, now we take what it takes to heat that house from 3 tons, 36,000 BTUs, down to 2 tons, 24,000 BTUs. That is the smallest normally available piece of equipment on the market. So now the right piece of equipment for this house is anywhere between a small, at that 24,000, and a large, or maybe even an XL at 70,000. So without that blower door, there's really no way to know what the right piece of equipment is. And if anyone tells you that they don't need the blower door, they're guessing. They haven't run the numbers before. So very critical to get that. Now, what I'm talking about here is pretty counterintuitive. So if you want to dig in, these are the first 2 chapters from the Home Comfort book, which is my book. These are free downloads at natethehouseWhisperer.com, or they will be below this video. So Home Comfort 101, the first chapter, talks about how your house works, what the physics are, and helps you understand what's going on. The second chapter, HVAC 101, compares the heating and cooling system in your car to the one in your house. And I'll give you a spoiler, the one in your car is way, way better than the one in your house. Like I said, 85% of US HVAC systems are single stage, and your car has all kinds of speeds and stages and things like that. So these are both meant to be very fun and entertaining. Please download and read them before you talk again to your contractor. You will find them helpful, I guarantee. Now, we should talk just for a moment about what's in the Home Comfort Consult. So the whole goal of the Comfort Consult is to find out, is there a viable project for your home? And to do that, we need to understand what your goals are. So a whole bunch of questions will be asked by your contractor. The blower door test and a few other tests will be done to find out what the needs of your house are. And then there will be a brief discussion on budget just to see if there's some way to make those 3 come together. And as part of that, of course, the blower door test is going to happen, and if weather permits, you'll get some infrared testing as well, which you see on the right. And at the end of the Comfort Consult, you will get load calculations. So now you will know, not just guess, what the right piece of equipment for your house is for both heating and cooling. Also, at the end of that, you have to figure out, is more planning needed? So most homes are not insanely leaky, so you can go the A+ path, which is a tailored quote. So now your contractor knows what the problems are with your house, and so they can recommend a really nice piece of equipment to solve some or all of those issues that came up in the consult. On the other hand, your house may be a basket case. And if that's the case, if it's leaky, if it's a 3-to-1, there's no point in just doing HVAC. Because if you do that, it will be wrong for where the house is once it's fixed. So there's some planning that needs to be done. And that is the B+ or the comprehensive planning process. So where in the A+ you can expect improved comfort, in the B+, you can expect dramatically improved comfort. So at the end of the comfort consult, you'll begin to understand which one of those paths is right for you. Plan A or Plan B, are you going to do the free quote, or is a comfort consult the path for you? Either way, you can sign up below. I hope this is helpful. I'm Nate the House Whisperer. Have a great day.